Guys, let's get real. In dating, nothing wastes more time than chasing a woman who isn't genuinely interested. You might think she's just busy, playing hard to get, or testing you, but sometimes the truth is simpler. She's not into you. And the earlier you recognize it, the better for your confidence, your time, and your future. Modern women are complex, and attraction isn't always about physical looks or clever moves. It's about chemistry, connection, and genuine emotional engagement. If she doesn't feel it, her mind and her actions will reflect it. But here's the thing most men miss. Women aren't always blatant about it. They rarely say, "I'm not interested," outright. Instead, they communicate through patterns, behaviors, and subtle cues. If you know what to look for, you'll stop wasting energy on someone who isn't on the same page. Some men interpret mixed signals as challenges or tests. They overanalyze texts, calls, and body language, thinking a little distance or hesitation is attraction. But often, it's the opposite. When a woman isn't invested, her actions are consistent, even if her words aren't. Ignoring these signals leads to frustration, doubt, and time spent on a dead-end connection. Recognizing disinterest isn't about ego. It's about understanding human behavior and acting strategically. This video is designed to give you clarity. I'm going to break down 7 specific things women do when they're not interested. These aren't theories. They're patterns you can observe in real life. You'll learn to identify behaviors that indicate lack of attraction, disinterest, or emotional detachment. Knowing these signs gives you an advantage. You stop guessing, avoid wasting time, and focus your energy on women who actually reciprocate your attention. By the end of this, you'll understand how female psychology works when attraction isn't there. You'll see the difference between casual hesitation and genuine disinterest. And most importantly, you'll know exactly when to step back, save yourself frustration, and maintain your confidence. Let's get into the 7 things a woman does when she's not interested, so you can read the signs clearly, act accordingly, and focus on connections that actually matter. 1. She's hard to reach. Guys, the first and clearest sign a woman isn't interested is simple. She's hard to reach. I'm talking about messages that go unanswered, calls that get ignored, or constant delays in responding. When a woman likes you, she makes an effort. She may be busy, sure, but she finds a way to stay engaged. If she's consistently distant or unresponsive, it's not playing hard to get. It's a clear signal of disinterest. Notice the patterns. A woman who is interested will respond even in small ways. A quick text back, a laugh at a message, or checking in shows she values the connection. When she doesn't do these things, it's not because she's testing you, it's because her energy is elsewhere. Men often make the mistake of overanalyzing, maybe she's busy, maybe she's stressed, maybe she's shy. The reality is that consistent unavailability points to lack of interest. It's also about how she communicates. If she answers with one-word replies, avoids asking questions about you, or doesn't show curiosity about your life, it's a pattern. Interest is active, not passive. She doesn't have to be perfect at texting or calling, but she should engage enough that you feel her attention. When you don't, it's a signal that your presence isn't a priority. Another subtle factor is timing. When she chooses to respond only when convenient for her, or after long delays, it shows her investment level. If she were interested, she'd make time, even small pockets of it, to connect with you. Disinterest isn't always dramatic. Often it's quiet and consistent. She's not ghosting you in a single move. She's slowly communicating that you're not a priority. Here's the practical takeaway. Pay attention to effort, not excuses. Stop giving her credit for actions that aren't there. If she's hard to reach repeatedly, it's not situational. It's behavioral. Accepting this early saves you frustration and preserves your confidence. Men who ignore this sign often waste weeks or months chasing someone who isn't reciprocating. Remember, attraction requires energy on both sides. You can be charming, confident, and consistent, but if she doesn't match your effort, that's her disinterest showing. Don't force engagement or overanalyze. It's a clear pattern. Hard to reach behavior is one of the most reliable indicators a woman isn't invested, and recognizing it early sets you apart from men who fall for mixed signals. 2. She avoids plans. Guys, Pay attention. Another clear sign a woman isn't interested is how she handles plans. When she avoids making solid plans with you, cancels last minute, or gives vague answers, it's a red flag. Women who are genuinely interested will prioritize time with you. Even a busy woman will find a way to make space for someone she wants in her life. Notice the difference between casual busyness and consistent avoidance. A woman who likes you may have a packed schedule, but she'll still give a concrete day, time, or place to see you. She may even suggest alternatives if the first plan doesn't work. But when a woman consistently avoids plans or leaves everything uncertain, it signals low interest. This is her way of keeping distance without confrontation. Timing and effort matter here too. Does she rarely initiate plans? Does she always seem too tired, too busy, or unsure when you ask to hang out? These aren't one-off excuses, they're patterns. Interest requires some initiative, curiosity, and willingness to invest time. If she doesn't show any of that, it's a reliable signal that she isn't motivated to prioritize you. Another subtle indicator is how she reacts when you propose plans. If she responds with hesitation, deflection, or non-committal answers like maybe or we'll see, take note. Men often convince themselves that these answers mean she's just testing patience or wants to play hard to get. In reality, consistent vagueness usually reflects her lack of genuine interest. She isn't making space for you emotionally or practically, which is just as important as physical presence. It's also worth observing how she handles group settings. Does she avoid seeing you one-on-one but agrees to group hangouts? That's another subtle way of keeping distance while avoiding outright rejection. Interest tends to shine through in both private and public spaces. Avoidance, even in social settings, is a strong indicator she's not invested in developing a closer connection. Practical takeaway: pay attention to commitment signals. Stop reading into empty promises or hypothetical plans. If she doesn't actively make time for you, it's a sign she isn't interested. Respect her choice, but don't waste energy waiting for her to suddenly change her mind. Remember, attraction is shown through action, not words. A woman who wants to see you will make the effort, even if she's busy. Avoidance, on the other hand, is her subtle way of communicating disinterest. Men who ignore this end up stuck in a cycle of chasing someone who doesn't value their time or presence. Recognizing avoidance early protects your confidence and lets you focus on women who are actually excited to spend time with you. 3. She's emotionally distant, guys. Here's a sign that many men ignore. When a woman isn't interested, she keeps an emotional distance. It's subtle at first. Maybe she avoids sharing personal stories, laughs without depth, or doesn't engage when you try to connect. Over time, this creates a pattern. She's physically present sometimes, but emotionally unavailable. Emotional availability is one of the strongest indicators of interest. When a woman likes you, she opens up. She talks about her day, her feelings, her opinions. She shows curiosity about you, your thoughts, and your experiences. She laughs genuinely at your jokes and reacts to your energy. Emotional distance, on the other hand, is a protective mechanism. She isn't necessarily trying to hurt you. She's signaling that she isn't invested enough to share herself or engage with yours. One thing to watch for is the balance of effort in conversation. Is she making minimal effort to keep discussions going? Does she answer your questions with short, generic replies or deflect topics about herself? These behaviors show that she's keeping a wall up. Men often interpret this as shyness or a temporary mood, but when the pattern persists, it's a clear sign of disinterest. Another subtle cue is how she reacts to vulnerability. If you try to share something personal or meaningful, does she respond with care and curiosity, or does she brush it off, change the topic, or give a neutral reaction? Women who are interested will reciprocate vulnerability. They engage with your emotional world. Women who aren't interested avoid it. They stay distant, creating emotional space where closeness could develop but doesn't. Emotional distance also shows in body language. Does she avoid eye contact, cross her arms, or keep physical space between you? These small, consistent cues align with her mental and emotional state. She isn't closing the door entirely. She's just not opening herself up, which makes meaningful connection difficult. Practical takeaway: observe emotional engagement, not just physical presence. If she consistently avoids emotional connection, it's a strong signal she isn't invested. Don't try to force vulnerability or overanalyze isolated moments. Look at the consistent pattern. Men who recognize this early avoid frustration and preserve their confidence. Remember, attraction isn't just about shared activities or casual fun. It's built on emotional connection. If she isn't meeting you there, it's not a reflection on your worth. It's simply her lack of interest. Emotional distance is a signal, not a challenge to overcome. Accept it, step back, and focus your energy on women who engage with you emotionally and value your presence. 4. She rarely initiates contact, guys. This is one of the most obvious signals a woman isn't interested. She rarely, if ever, initiates contact. If you find that you're always the one texting, calling, or making plans, it's not a coincidence. It's a behavioral pattern. Women who are genuinely interested make an effort to reach out, even in small ways. Think about it. When a woman likes you, she wants to maintain a connection. She sends messages to check in, shares memes or videos she thinks you'll enjoy, or simply says hi because she's thinking about you. Even if she's busy, she finds moments to initiate contact. When that effort is absent consistently, it shows that maintaining connection with you isn't a priority. Many men misinterpret this as she's playing hard to get or she's just busy. That's where the mistake happens. Interest is visible through actions, not excuses. If she were interested, she would create opportunities to communicate. One-word texts, long gaps between replies, or a total lack of initiation indicate that her attention, and by extension, her interest, is elsewhere. Pay attention to patterns over time. A single day or week of minimal messages could be situational, but when it becomes consistent over multiple weeks, the pattern becomes clear. She isn't motivated to engage with you. Men often try to compensate by texting more, trying to spark her interest, or overthinking what her lack of initiation means. This rarely works. Her behavior is the clearest guide. You either notice the signs or waste energy chasing someone who isn't reciprocating. Another subtle clue is how she reacts when you initiate contact. Does she respond politely, but without enthusiasm? Are her replies delayed or brief? When she responds only when prompted, it reinforces her low investment. Women who are interested show eagerness. They respond promptly, ask questions, and keep the conversation flowing. Disinterest shows in contrast. She waits for you to reach out, and even then, engagement feels minimal. Practical takeaway: pay attention to initiative. Relationships, even early connections, require mutual effort. If she rarely initiates contact, accept it as a sign that she isn't invested. Don't try to force engagement or overanalyze every interaction. Look at the consistent pattern. This saves you time, energy, and emotional frustration, allowing you to focus on women who actually value your attention. Remember, interest is active, not passive. A woman who likes you will create small ways to connect. A woman who isn't interested won't. Recognizing this early allows you to avoid chasing dead-end connections and maintain confidence while pursuing relationships with women who are genuinely excited to engage with you. 5. She avoids physical closeness. Guys, here's a clear but often overlooked sign. When a woman isn't interested, she avoids physical closeness. I'm not just talking about intimacy. This includes simple things like standing or sitting apart, avoiding touches, or keeping her body angled away from you. Physical distance often reflects emotional distance, and consistent avoidance is a strong signal she isn't invested. Think about it. When a woman likes a man, she naturally creates small opportunities for physical connection. She might brush against your arm, laugh while leaning in, or respond positively to casual touches. These are subtle ways she communicates comfort, attraction, and engagement. When these behaviors are missing or avoided, it's her way of maintaining distance without confrontation. Pay attention to patterns rather than isolated moments. One moment of avoidance could be situational. Maybe she's uncomfortable, tired, or distracted. But when she consistently keeps her distance in multiple situations, it's a sign of low interest. Men often misread this as shyness or playing hard to get, but repeated avoidance is intentional, even if subconscious. Another indicator is how she reacts when you attempt casual contact. Does she pull away, stiffen, or subtly move her body out of reach? These micro-reactions communicate discomfort or lack of interest. Women who are attracted tend to respond positively or at least tolerate closeness. Avoidance repeatedly signals that she isn't emotionally or physically invested. Even in group settings, you can notice this. She may be friendly or polite, but still keeps space between you, avoids sitting close, or engages more with others than with you. Interest is visible in body language. Disinterest is quiet but consistent. Men who ignore these signals often misinterpret politeness or friendliness as hidden attraction. Practical takeaway: observe how she behaves physically, not just verbally. Physical closeness is a strong, nonverbal indicator of interest. If she consistently avoids it, accept it as a clear sign she isn't invested in pursuing a connection. Don't push, overanalyze, or interpret politeness as attraction. It isn't. Remember, Attraction requires alignment, emotional, mental, and physical. If one of these areas is missing consistently, it's likely a reflection of her lack of interest. Recognizing avoidance early saves you frustration and preserves your confidence. Step back and focus your energy on women who welcome closeness, engage fully, and are excited to spend time with you. Avoidance isn't a challenge, it's a signal. Respect it. 6. She doesn't ask about you guys. Pay close attention. This is a big one. When a woman isn't interested, she doesn't ask about you. She might respond politely when you share things about your life, but she won't dig deeper, show curiosity, or try to understand you. Genuine interest involves asking questions, remembering details, and showing engagement. Lack of this is a subtle but powerful sign of disinterest. Think about how women behave when they like someone. They naturally ask about your day, your goals, your experiences, and your thoughts. They want to know what matters to you and how you feel. This curiosity isn't forced, it's automatic. When it's missing, it shows that she's not invested emotionally. She isn't seeking a connection beyond surface level interaction. Patterns matter. If she consistently avoids asking questions about you, never follows up on things you've shared, or changes the subject back to herself, it's a signal. Men often rationalize this behavior. Maybe she's shy, maybe she's busy, or maybe she's not aware. The truth is, interest creates effort. If she doesn't make the effort to know you, she isn't interested. Even small details count. Does she remember something you mentioned last week, like a hobby, a goal, or a story? Does she check in later about how something went for you? Women who are attracted notice and care about these details. Women who aren't interested don't prioritize remembering. They stay disengaged. This isn't about being perfect or always on point. It's about consistent patterns of curiosity versus indifference. Another subtle cue is follow-up. If you tell her something personal, does she reference it later or ask about it later? A lack of follow-up shows disinterest. Women who are invested will naturally bring up topics you shared, signaling that you're on her mind. When she doesn't, it's a quiet but clear sign that your experiences, thoughts, and feelings aren't a priority for her. Practical takeaway: pay attention to her engagement with your life. Interest is visible through curiosity. Disinterest shows as consistent absence of inquiry. Don't waste energy trying to force connection with someone who isn't willing to invest emotionally. Recognizing this early protects your confidence and helps you focus on women who genuinely want to engage with you. Remember, attraction isn't just about words, appearances, or fleeting moments. It's about investment, attention, and care. A woman who doesn't ask about you isn't signaling mystery. She's signaling low interest. Accept it, step back, and redirect your energy towards someone who actually values and seeks to understand you. 7. She shows minimal excitement. Guys, this is one of the most revealing signs a woman isn't interested. She shows minimal excitement around you. Pay attention to her reactions when you spend time together. Is she enthusiastic, laughing genuinely, leaning in, and showing engagement? Or does she seem flat, distracted, or indifferent? Lack of excitement is one of the clearest behavioral indicators of disinterest. When a woman likes a man, her energy reflects it. She smiles easily, laughs at your jokes, mirrors your gestures, and reacts to your presence with warmth. Even small moments like a text exchange or a casual hangout carry her engagement. When that energy is missing consistently, it's a signal that her mind and heart aren't invested. Notice patterns over time. Occasional low-energy moments happen to everyone. Stress, fatigue, or distraction can affect her mood. But consistent flat reactions, disinterest in conversation, and a lack of enthusiasm are behavioral patterns, not temporary moods. Men often mistake politeness or friendliness for interest, but genuine attraction is active. It shows up in her energy, her tone, and her body language. Another way to observe this is through response to your efforts. When you initiate fun plans, share jokes, or create memorable moments, does she react positively or just tolerate them? Women who are interested contribute to shared energy. They amplify it. Women who aren't interested respond minimally, keeping interaction low-key and emotionally neutral. This minimal engagement is her way of signaling disinterest without outright confrontation. Even subtle cues matter. Does she maintain eye contact or avoid it? Is her voice lively or flat? Does she lean in or stay physically distant? Excitement isn't just emotional, it's physical. Women communicate attraction subtly, and lack of excitement often aligns with lack of interest. Men who ignore these micro signals often misinterpret neutrality as mystery, challenge, or playing hard to get. But consistent low energy is far more honest. Practical takeaway: pay attention to the energy she brings to interactions. Interest is visible in enthusiasm, engagement, and active participation. Disinterest is visible in flatness, minimal reactions, and low investment in shared moments. Don't try to manufacture excitement or force connection. Patterns don't lie. Recognizing this saves time, protects confidence, and helps you focus on women who are genuinely excited to be around you. Remember, attraction isn't just about words, compliments, or effort. It's about energy. A woman who is interested makes her presence felt. A woman who isn't keeps it neutral or minimal. Understanding and observing this behavioral cue allows you to see reality clearly, step back when necessary, and pursue connections that actually matter. Men, the signs are clear if a woman isn't interested. She's hard to reach, avoids plans, keeps emotional distance, rarely initiates contact, avoids physical closeness, doesn't ask about you, and shows minimal excitement. These aren't games. They're behavioral patterns that reflect her true investment. Recognizing them early protects your confidence, your time, and your energy. Stop chasing signals that aren't there and focus on women who match your effort and value your presence. Understanding female psychology allows you to act with clarity, respect yourself, and build connections that are genuine, mutual, and worth your attention.